people who claim or are associated with progressives or liberals, that they are willing to suspend their moral values, if you will, and attach themselves to a candidate that obviously is a contradiction to anything that they say that they are about.
Pastor Mike Folks on the ground in Alabama giving us a report at quarter before the hour as he's hitting the streets to mobilize voters. Where are you going to be today, Pastor Mike, before we go? Where are you going to be today?
Well, we head to Montgomery, we're heading to Prattville, and we're in Birmingham, so we're going to be up and down the state today.
Good luck to you, my brother. We may check back in with you tomorrow, folks. Every soul to the polls now to vote for Doug Jones. My brother, thank you, man. Thanks for joining us so early in the morning.
Hey, my pleasure, brother. Thanks for reaching out.
All right, we'll talk again. Thank you.
This is MIP Breaking News.
Joining us now, as promised, the Democratic nominee for the U.S. Senate in Alabama himself. Doug Jones joins us now. Mr. Jones, how are you, sir?
Man, I'm feeling great, Mark. Thanks so much for having me on this morning.
Oh, no, of course, we have to have you, man. This is very, very important. How are you feeling today? How are things looking?
Mark, I think this race, we feel very, very good. There is such enthusiasm. I was at Pastor Mike's church yesterday, and there's with Cory Booker, and there is such incredible enthusiasm from one end of the state to the other. We felt it. We've been building toward it. We feel very good. I think there's going to be a great turnout for us tomorrow, and we're just looking forward to an exciting day. We're going to start this morning early at Chris Z's across on University Boulevard down from St. Vincent's Hospital. For some of your listeners, please join us. We'll be there for a while this morning. We're going to head down to Montgomery and then back up to Birmingham to finish out tonight. And we're just excited. The whole campaign is just excited.
It was a pretty big deal to have Cory Booker down there over the weekend, wasn't it?
It was fantastic to have him. We were in Montgomery and then in Birmingham. We had Governor Deval Patrick down here from Massachusetts. He was here Saturday with us down in Selma and also in Birmingham. It's just, and those folks have the same interests that we have. We've talked, Mark, about all of the things that Alabama folks have in common. And we've got those in common with everybody in the country. They're the issues of health care and jobs and the economy, making sure everyone is treated with dignity and respect. And it was exciting. We had great turnouts. We had great enthusiasm wherever we went. And people are just brimming with excitement that this is our time. This is our moment, and we're going to make it happen.
What about the ongoing controversies with Roy Moore? We hear more about how he thought slavery was a good thing, Doug Jones, or at least a good time for American families. Those were his words. We have all of the scandals surrounding him. Are that type of behavior, those types of statements, are they in the forefront of Alabama voters' minds?
Oh, I think so. Look, Mark, there's he's been around for a long time, and this country has been so divided politically that whenever you come up with allegations that have been leveled against Moore, which I think have full credibility, his denials do not. People just have a tendency, they don't want to believe it's true. They want to make sure that everything is, they like to believe that they're people that have been their leaders in the past are not capable of that. But as we've seen this play out, what has been overlooked with all of the allegations about with the women, what has been overlooked is the absolute things that cannot be denied that he's done, been removed from office twice. The things that he has said, and you mentioned one about America was great at a time when we had slavery. It was broke this weekend that he's made comments that the country would be better off if we just got rid of all the amendments that were passed after the Bill of Rights, and that would include the 13th, 14th, 15th, all those post-Civil War amendments that gave so many people their rights, including women's suffrage. It's just time and time again where people are now beginning to see this guy doesn't represent Alabama's values. I don't know what he represents, to be honest with you, but it's certainly not the values of most people in Alabama. And I think that the voters in this state are coming to realize that, and they see in our campaign the opportunity to put a new face for Alabama, to put our best foot forward, and have somebody that can bridge those gaps and talk to people and have the dialogues to try to be effective. You can't really be effective, Mark, when you can't even get along with people in your own party. And even Senator Shelby has come out and said, I will not vote for Roy Moore. That is as strong a statement as you can possibly get from someone who has been in the U.S. Senate since 1986.
Doug Jones with us, folks. You know, if you're not in Alabama, Roy Moore will almost give you the impression that folks still think that way. I mean, Alabama has changed, hasn't? People aren't still running around here talking about repealing the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, are they?
No, sir, not at all. Let me tell you, Mark, you know my history. You know that 15, 16 years ago, we prosecuted the 63 bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church, and we put, those two old Klansmen in prison for murdering those 4 little girls. And we received nothing but overwhelming love and support for doing that, to try to put a little healing on those wounds. And I've talked about that case from one end of the state to the other, from one end of the country to the other. And people are different. When anytime you're running in Alabama, people would say, well, you got to do, you want to low key things like that in certain areas of the state. We haven't done that. We have gone to this state. We have talked about equality. We've talked about justice, and we have gotten in just an incredible reception. Roy Moore does not represent the values of the people of the state of Alabama. It's a purely political issue now. And I have told people that one of the things I'm hoping that this campaign accomplishes is that instead of people saying, well, asking me right off the bat, are you a Republican or Democrat? When I tell them I'm running for office, I want them to say, what's your purpose? What will you really want to do for the people of the state of Alabama? And I think our campaign has been doing that because we've been sticking to those issues. Hopefully that's what's going to come forward because, again, I can't stress it enough. Roy Moore is not the values of Alabama.
Now, what about Trump as well? Does it harm him in Alabama in this out? I know Alabama went for Trump last year, but with all that's been going on with Trump and his approval down, does Roy Moore's attachment to Trump hurt him at all?
It's hard to say at this point. There's so much, but this race has really focused on Alabama more than anything else. We have continually tried to focus on Alabama. There was some, during the Republican primary, it didn't really help Senator Strange very much that the president came in here. I think people are really looking at this race in Alabama as a change. We've had a difficult period in Alabama in the last couple of years. We've had the governor removed. We've had the Speaker of the House convicted. We had another legislator convicted recently. And Roy Moore, the Chief Justice, removed for a second time. So that has helped us focus on the issues that are just in Alabama, the issues of health care, jobs, and the economy. And that's what we've tried to stay in our lane. Everywhere we've gone, we don't talk about anything outside of this. We talk about the contrast between me and Roy Moore, not only on the issues of our records, in which I'll put my record against his any day of the week, but also on substance of issues like health care and jobs. Those kind of things are important to the people in this state.
Indeed. And Doug Jones, how many fellow Alabamans do you have down there that speak fluent Russian? Is that striking people down there as baffling as it is up here? Because we all up here like, what in the world? I've just never seen that.
It's funny you ask that because I had a reporter the other day. That whole issue, none of that has just really never bubbled up. It's been a little bit of jokes among staff and stuff on occasion, but those as issues wherever we are, that has just not been the focus. I'm telling you this, what's been so good about this campaign is that everywhere we go, people want to know health care. That has been a driver from day one because this state didn't expand Medicaid, and we should have.
Yeah.
Medicaid is a lifeblood. Medicare is a lifeblood to the health of this state. We're losing rural hospitals because we didn't expand Medicaid. People want to know how they're going to keep their health care. They want to know how we're going to bring the cost of health care down and the premiums for insurance. So people have focused on those issues, and we're going to let everything else take care of itself. I'll worry about all that once I get up in the Senate.
No, absolutely. So, Doug Jones, if you would, give us final instruction, final marching orders. What do you need people to do for you in the next 24 hours?
Man, the polls open tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. We don't have early voting in this state, and the polls will open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I need everybody to spread the word. It's not just necessary to call people today and ask them to go vote. What you got to do is call them tomorrow and ask them, have they voted? Try to get 5 people. Try to get 10 people. Encourage them. This is, we need to just kind of have a cascading effect of everybody call someone and have them call somebody else. I think if we can get to the polls, and I think there is an interest in this race within this state that we haven't seen in a long time. People see it as a crossroads, an opportunity for Alabama to put its best foot forward. And so I just need people to call, to get out and canvass, to get out there and work, make sure that tomorrow we're going to have a pretty day. It's going to be a little bit chilly up here in northern part of central Alabama and North Alabama, but it's not going to be bad at all. We just need to get folks to the polls, call your friends, call your neighbors, get on social media, do whatever you can to let's get us across the goal line.
You need some money too, don't you?
Oh yeah, every campaign needs money. That always happens. So our phone lines are still open for any contribution.
And folks listening around the country, and go to DougJonesForSenate.com too around the country. They need a little bit of money to get over that finish line too. Call everyone you know in Alabama as well to get out to vote. Every soul to the polls tomorrow. My friend, we wish you well. We're going to continue to push this all day on our channel, and we're going to claim victory for you tomorrow. Okay.
Well, Mark, I appreciate it. Anybody that needs a ride or needs to know where their polling location is, instead of going to the campaign website, go to votefordoug.com, and we can help you out there too. So thanks so much for having me. I look forward to getting back on this program sometime as the junior U.S. Senator from Alabama.
Yes, sir. We look forward to inviting Senator Doug Jones back on the air. Thank you, man. Have a great day. Good luck with everything. God bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Take care now. Folks, we're off the radio, but we're still streaming. There is some breaking news. There's what we'll do is we'll join us on the radio momentarily there because we'll report on that as soon as we return. In the meantime, votefordoug.com and DougJonesForSenate.com as well. Because join us back here at SiriusXM Progress 127 if you're in your cars or about to get in your cars, so we can report on the breaking news. We'll be back on the radio in just a little while. Resistance Radio, SiriusXM Progress 127. Get woke. Get ready for impeachment. This is MIP.